From the sound of bouncing pixels to cinematic 4K experiences, video game consoles didn't just evolve, they redefined entertainment across generations. But beyond the headlines and the big names, there's a hidden history, filled with rare machines, industry betrayals, and tech experiments that shaped your favorite consoles. Today, let's go deeper into the history of video game consoles, from the forgotten pioneers to the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. The Magnavox Odyssey wasn't just the first console, it was almost lost to history. It had no internal memory or sound, and games were programmed using plastic cards. One game used physical dice and poker chips, yes, analog items. Though people remember Pong, they forget Pong was actually copied from a tennis game on the Odyssey. That sparked the first ever video game lawsuit, and Atari had to settle out of court. The Atari 2600 exploded in popularity, but did you know there was a version released only to hospitals? It was called the Atari Hospital Computer System and was used to treat eye coordination issues in children. Meanwhile, the Fairchild Channel F, released before the Atari 2600, was the first console to use ROM cartridges. It had pause functionality, something even the NES didn't have at launch, and when the video game crash hit in 1983, stores were so desperate they buried thousands of unsold game cartridges in a New Mexico landfill, an urban legend that was later confirmed true in 2014 when they were dug up. When Nintendo entered the US market after the crash, they were afraid retailers wouldn't carry a video game console, so they didn't call it a console. The NES was marketed as an entertainment system with a robotic operating buddy, Rob, to trick toy stores into stocking it. The zapper gun for Duck Hunt was originally designed using technology from Japanese police training equipment. Meanwhile, the Sega Master System featured 3D glasses, real-time stereoscopic 3D in 1987, but very few people ever saw or used them. Sega's Genesis had hidden features. Did you know it supported online multiplayer in Japan? Sega's Mega Modem allowed Japanese players to download games and compete online in the late 1980s, years before Xbox Live existed. Nintendo's SNES had a cancelled accessory called the Nintendo PlayStation. Yes, a collaboration with Sony. It had a working prototype SNES cartridge plus CD-ROM. Nintendo pulled out at the last moment, leading Sony to build its own console and begin its domination. The original PlayStation was born out of revenge, a bold move that would change the course of gaming history forever. Sony's entry into the console market was unexpected, but it would soon become legendary, setting the stage for a new era of interactive entertainment. After Nintendo betrayed Sony, the company pivoted from making music players and electronics to building a gaming empire, determined to prove themselves in a brand new industry. Their ambition was clear: to outdo the competition and leave a lasting mark, not just in Japan, but across the globe. Sony's vision was bold, and their willingness to take risks would soon pay off. One of the first games to fully utilize the PlayStation's CD-ROM power wasn't a blockbuster, it was A-Train, a Japanese railway simulation that quietly showcased the system's technical potential and hinted at what was possible for future developers. The PlayStation's CD format opened doors for creativity and innovation, allowing for bigger worlds and richer soundtracks. The Nintendo 64 cartridge format caused a major fallout with Square, the legendary makers of Final Fantasy, who needed more storage for their ambitious projects. The limitations of cartridges were becoming impossible to ignore. Nintendo refused to use CDs, so Square jumped ship to PlayStation, making Final Fantasy VII, a game so massive it came on 3 CDs and helped sell millions of PS1s worldwide, forever changing the RPG landscape. This move cemented PlayStation's reputation as the new home for epic gaming experiences, and the Sega Saturn? It faced its own unique challenges in this fiercely competitive era, struggling to keep up with the rapid changes in technology and consumer expectations. Its failure wasn't just hardware complexity. Sega surprised its own developers by launching it early with zero warning, leading to retail chaos and third-party anger across the industry. The fallout would haunt Sega for years to come, serving as a cautionary tale for the entire gaming world. Sony's PS2 may be the most famous, but the Dreamcast was way ahead of its time. It had online play, a second screen controller, and even voice-controlled games. The Dreamcast had a Japanese exclusive game called Seaman, narrated by Leonard Nimoy, where you raised a talking fish with a human face. The original Xbox controller, nicknamed the Duke, was so large because Microsoft used leftover parts from their Sidewinder PC gamepads, and because Japanese manufacturing didn't yet match American circuit designs. Microsoft lost billions on the Xbox, but they didn't care. The goal wasn't profit, it was owning the living room. The Wii became a cultural phenomenon, but, a lot of people forget the original Wii Motion Plus accessory actually allowed one-to-one sword tracking, yet it was underused because, developers didn't even know it existed. Here's a rare fact. An early version of the Xbox 360's Kinect was designed by a company that later built iPhone facial recognition software for Apple. Meanwhile, Sony's cell processor in the PS3 was so complex even Sony's own developers found it difficult to work with. And kind of ironically, years later, NASA used PS3 clusters to simulate black holes due to their high computing power. Sony's PS4 came out strong, dominating early sales and quickly building a massive player base, thanks to a clear focus on games and gamers. Meanwhile, Microsoft's Xbox One had one of the most infamous reveals in gaming history, emphasizing TV integration and entertainment features over actual games, always online DRM, and no use games. Rare fact here, backlash was so severe that Microsoft reversed every policy, and the executive who led the launch, Don Matrick, left the company just months later, marking a dramatic shift in direction for Xbox. This moment forced Microsoft to rethink its entire strategy and reconnect with its core gaming audience. Nintendo's Wii U failed not because of power but because no one really understood what it was supposed to be or how it fit into the gaming landscape. The marketing was unclear, and the console's unique features weren't communicated effectively to consumers. The name confused buyers. A lot of folks thought it was just an add-on for the Wii, not a new console, which hurt its sales from the start. This confusion led to poor adoption and lackluster support from third-party developers. Then came the Nintendo Switch, secretly in development under the codename Project NX, which would change Nintendo's fortunes and redefine portable gaming. Its hybrid design allowed players to seamlessly switch between handheld and home console play, capturing the imagination of gamers worldwide. Developers said it was so secretive, even internal staff didn't know the full design until just weeks before the official reveal, adding to the surprise and excitement. The Switch's launch marked a bold new era for Nintendo, proving that innovation could still lead to massive success. When the PS5 and Xbox Series X launched in 2020, gamers faced a new challenge, actually finding one. Scalpers and chip shortages created one of the worst console supply crises in history. Here's a rare fact. Sony had a hidden startup chime in the PS5 dev kits. When booted, it played a remixed version of the original PlayStation sound as a tribute. Microsoft's Xbox Series X has a hidden Master Chief etched inside the controller port. These little Easter eggs, keep fans hunting for secrets. Meanwhile, cloud gaming, Game Pass, and AI-generated content are starting to shift gaming from hardware to services. The question now is, do we even need consoles anymore? From the pixelated silence of the Magnavox Odyssey, a humble beginning that sparked a revolution in living rooms everywhere, the story of gaming consoles is one of constant evolution and surprise. From those early days to the 4K photorealism of today's consoles. This journey was never just about graphics or technology, but about the stories we share, the adventures we embark on, and the memories we create together. It was about innovation, creativity, and honestly, the passion of gamers worldwide, who continue to push boundaries every single day, inspiring new generations to dream even bigger. We saw giants rise and fall, shaping the industry with every leap forward and stumble back, leaving their mark on gaming history. Secrets buried, both literally and digitally, waiting to be rediscovered by new generations of fans, fueling curiosity and excitement for what's still out there. And we witnessed an entire culture emerge from a plastic box connected to a TV, uniting people across the globe and bridging generations through play. As we move toward cloud-native consoles, Arkansas and VR hybrids, and AI-powered gaming experiences that redefine what's possible, the future feels more exciting than ever. Yet one thing remains constant: the magic of playing together, sharing laughter, excitement, and those unforgettable moments. Which console defined your childhood, or blew your mind with its innovation, creativity, and pure fun? Tell us in the comments below. We'd love to hear your stories and favorite gaming memories. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell, so you never miss a chapter in gaming history as it unfolds. Because the history of gaming is still being written, with every new console, every new player, and every new story. And we're here to tell it all, one story at a time. So join us on this